Hello, hello. It is finally getting warmer here in New York. This is yoga for the upper neck, traps, rhomboids, opening up the chest and the shoulders. So, really, more of an upper body class, if you want to call it that. This is really gentle stretching, getting into some of that deeper fascia or muscle tissue that we have, and really just releasing the tension that we build up and is stored there. Today we're featuring Kona because she wants to be part of the video, and I am realistic. This is the way that I live. So you don't need a mat for this. You can just sit down comfortably on the ground, on the bed, on a chair, whatever feels good for you. Sitting up nice and tall, we'll just ground down into the practice here, fully arriving and allowing ourselves to be present. Go ahead and feel the sit bones sinking into the ground of whatever you are sitting on, allowing yourself to root down. Feel the crown of the head reaching up towards the heart of the sky, lengthening through the spine. Allow the shoulders to fall far away from the ears, pulling those shoulder blades together down onto the back. Feel how as you do that, the back of the neck lengthens and gets a little bit longer. Allow the eyelids to gently close if they're not already. Releasing any tension from the jaw, relaxing the muscles of the face. And then without any judgment, without giving anything a good or bad title, just drop into the breath. Be an observer in the body. Notice the activity that's happening in the lungs. Notice if the belly is rising and falling. Notice if the breaths are long or short. Notice if the breathing feels shallow. And again, without categorizing any of these things as good or bad, just simply letting them be. And now we'll start to lengthen our inhales and our exhales, making them equal in length. Taking a big breath in through the nose. Big sigh out the mouth. Another big breath in through the nose. Gentle sigh out the mouth. Another breath in through the nose. And this time, keeping the mouth closed, gentle constriction in the back of the throat, coming into that Ujjayi breath. Should feel painless, should feel pretty effortless, should start to create a sound like gentle ocean waves. This is Ujjayi breath, Ujjayi pranayama, known as victorious breathing, the main breath that we're using in yoga when we're coming into these postures or asanas. Taking a few more of these breaths at your own pace, allowing your own rhythm to guide you. And throughout the remainder of this practice, we'll continue that same Ujjayi breath, especially when you feel like you're getting into an area that's tight or tense. So we'll start off by placing our right hand on the mat or on the floor next to you. Inhale, reach that left arm up and over your head, opening up that left side body. Should feel like a nice, really juicy stretch on the side rib cage, the armpit, or the axillary region. Breathing into these intercostal muscles. And really seeing if you can turn the pinky side of your hand towards your face, noticing how that plugs your shoulder and pulls it back down. And every exhale, you're reaching those fingertips a little bit further away from you, maybe bending that right arm a little bit closer to the ground. If you're pretty flexible here, you can rest the forearm on the mat, really opening up that left side body. On your next exhale, that left arm gently comes back down by your side. As you inhale, that right arm comes up and overhead. Again, keeping that right shoulder plugged down, turning the pinky side of your hand towards you, letting that shoulder pull all the way down. So the stretch is coming from the right side body, the right intercostal muscles. One more breath here. And as you exhale, gently bringing that right hand back down. This time you'll place that right hand very close to the back of your spine. That left arm is going to come on your right knee. We're coming into a twist here. Keeping the spine nice and long, turning the body towards the back of whatever's facing you, the back wall, the back door. Again, keeping those shoulders as far down and away from the ears as you can. And then every exhale, maybe pulling that right arm a little bit closer towards you, opening up the chest a little bit more towards the right. And if it's available to you, you can turn your head all the way around so that it's facing directly behind you. That left arm is serving as a lever on your right knee. You should feel that stretch in the left side of the neck, the left shoulder, the back of the spine. And every exhale, pulling the belly in a little bit deeper, making sure that both of your sit bones are still firmly planted on the mat or the ground. On your next inhale, you're just going to bring your right hand up by your ears and then let that arm fall over to your left knee. So you've got your opposite hands on each knee. We're going to take a few rounds of cat-cow here. So using that same concept, you're going to pull the belly in, dome out the spine, let the head fall down, relaxing the back of the neck, letting the head hang heavy, releasing any tension from the back of the neck. And start to shift the weight a little bit onto the back side of your sit bones, almost as if you're lifting up the front half of the body. You'll start to notice how that allows you to get deeper into the scapular region or the area of your shoulder blades, into the mid, back, the thoracic region, really breathing into these erector muscles and all of these muscles that help us function every day. On your next inhale, you're going to pull the spine back down, creating that cow spine. The head comes up, the chin is trying to reach up now, and you're pulling the belly back down. So the same way that you would in cat-cow, taking a few rounds of these at your own pace. As you exhale, the belly pulls in, the spine rounds, doming out the back. And as you inhale, the spine arches, the crown of the head reaches up, the chin looks up. Using your own breath and your own pace to guide you here. On your next inhale, bringing the spine to a neutral position, you're just going to bring the arms up exactly as they are. So your left arm should be underneath your right. We're coming into an eagle wrap here. If eagle wrap arms are not accessible for you, grab onto your opposite shoulders as if you're giving yourself a big hug and pull the elbows up and away from you. If you've got the eagle wrap, we're bringing that together here, grabbing onto the opposite wrist, opposite hands, whatever you've got. And you're going to exhale as you pull the shoulders up and away from your face. So you want to drop, the elbows. You want to drop the shoulders down, feel the back of the neck long, And then pull your elbows up and away from you. So imagining that someone's sitting in front of you and they're pulling your elbows far away from your face. This will help activate the traps, particularly the right side with the way that our arms are set up. And this should feel really juicy as well in the shoulder blade region. So really taking a few moments to breathe into this space here. And every exhale, just seeing if you can bring those elbows a little bit higher up as you pull the shoulders further down, noticing how this intensifies the stretch. On your next exhale, gently, carefully release the arms. Allow them to fall by your side. Give the shoulders a few good rolls, backwards, forwards, however feels good for you. And then we'll take that same thing on the other side. So that right arm is coming onto your left knee. That left arm is coming directly behind the spine, sitting up nice and tall, creating a lot of length in the spine. And then turning, the side body and the head towards the left, opening up the chest, keeping both sit bones firmly planted into the ground. And then every exhale, you're pulling the belly in a little bit more, seeing if you can bring yourself a little bit deeper into the twist. And if it's available for you, you can take the head and turn it all the way behind you, looking over that left shoulder. Two more breaths here. And then as you inhale, reaching that left arm up by your ears, you're just going to bring it all the way around and over onto that right kneecap. We've got opposite arms on opposite knees here. Again, taking a few rounds of cat-cow at your own pace. So as you exhale, the belly pulls in, the spine rounds, creating that dome-like shape, really hollowing it out. And as you inhale, coming into that cow spine, the back arches, the crown of the head reaches up, the chin reaches up. Using your own breath to guide you here, doing what feels good intuitively. Maybe it's shifting the weight from side to side a little bit in the arms, noticing how that changes the stretch in the shoulder blade area. Remembering to breathe, that the breath will always guide you through these postures. One more round here. And as you inhale, keeping the arms as they are, gently releasing the knees, scooping them up, grabbing opposite wrist or hands, maybe giving yourself a hug if you still need more shoulder mobility. Same thing here, we're in the eagle wrap, we're pulling the shoulders down and away from our ears, we're pulling the elbows up and away from our face, noticing how that engages the trapezius muscles, the muscles that connect our shoulders and our neck and our upper back. And breathing into this space. For those of us who sit at a computer or at a desk all day, this feels particularly juicy to release this tension. So really focusing on long, expansive exhales here, visualizing that breath going towards these muscles, especially the ones that feel particularly tight in these postures. On your next exhale, slowly, carefully untangling the arms, releasing whatever hold you've got, gently rolling out the shoulders, moving in a way that feels good for your body. And then from here, we'll gently start to take the head and roll the neck from side to side. So at first, just imagining that you're touching your ears to each shoulder. So your right ear to your right shoulder, your left ear to your left shoulder. And just observing here the areas that feel tight or tense in the neck. And then we'll take that same thing going forward and back. So tucking the chin in towards the chest, lengthening the back of the neck. And then as you exhale, bringing the head all the way back if that feels good for the neck. Always listening to your body and meeting your body where it's at today. And then gently taking whichever direction you choose, slowly starting to make circles here with the head and neck. Again, just observing the areas that feel particularly tight for you. And when you feel a spot that feels particularly tight, just pause there for a few moments and visualize yourself sending that breath into that area of the neck. If you feel like you'd like to open that up a little bit more, just go ahead and take your hand and place it on the opposite side. So if it's the left side of your neck, you want to use your right hand. If it's the right side of your neck, you want to use your left hand. And just gently allow the weight of the fingers to apply gentle traction on those areas that feel tight. And again, visualizing yourself sending the breath there as you take long and expansive exhales. And you can continue this in any areas that feel particularly tight to you, in any areas that feel like they need a little bit of extra love. Kona felt like she needed some extra love. And then once the neck feels a little bit more loose, just go ahead and gently roll the neck from side to side. Give the shoulders a little shake, a little shimmy, just moving around the tissues that we've just stretched. And then now we're going to take our hands, interlace our fingers, and we're going to place them on the back of the head. You don't want them on the back of the neck. You want them to be right underneath the bony part, or right on top of the bony part of the head. So you're interlacing the fingers and you're putting them on the head. And as you exhale, you're going to gently bring your chin towards your chest and use your hands to create a little bit of traction on the back of the neck. And as you start to get the head closer towards your chest, you can pull the elbows together, noticing how that intensifies the stretch. And this should feel really good along the back of the neck. And it helps open up the vertebrae and create a little bit of traction there, creating length in the vertebrae, I should say. We can't really open them up. Three more breaths here. Again, long, expansive inhales and exhales. And then slowly, carefully bringing the head all the way back up, gently releasing the hands, moving however feels good for you here. Our final pose is going to be puppy pose. So you're going to come onto the hands and knees here. You want to keep the knees and hips exactly where they are. You don't want to move them. And then you're going to come into tabletop position on the hands and knees, and you're going to walk the hands all the way forward until the forehead is resting on the mat. This is puppy pose or Anahatasana, heart opener pose. This pose really helps you open up the shoulders, the front of the shoulders, the deltoids, and the chest. If this feels easy for you, you can bring the chin onto the mat, really creating a little bit of extra opening since it requires a deeper level of getting closer to the floor to do that. If the forehead feels intense, just letting the forehead rest there, taking some deep breaths in and out through the nose. If the arms are shaking, that's okay. Breathing into these muscles, breathing into the body, knowing that the more we control the breath, the more everything stays calm. And then slowly, carefully walking the hands back underneath the shoulders. Take a few rounds of cat-cow here. Move however feels good. You can take a few circles over the wrists with the shoulders. You can turn the fingers out to the sides, gently rocking the weight from side to side. If you'd like to stretch the forearms or the wrists, you can turn the fingers all the way around towards the knees if that's available to you. And gently rocking forward and back will allow you to create your own lever system using the body to determine how deep you want to take that posture. So just knowing that you are always in control of the amount of pressure that's being applied to the wrist, to the forearms, and to these spaces. But usually taking a few circles in each direction feels really juicy here. And if you're somebody who sits at a computer and types all day, another really great version of this, but it is the most intense one, is to flip the wrist the other way. So you're creating wrist flexion here. And you can see in the video the way that I'm doing it. And you just want to, again, gently allow your body weight to slowly serve as a lever for how intense you want this to be. For some of us, this is very intense and we're barely able to apply any pressure. And for other people, this feels like nothing. So again, always listening to your body and meeting your body where it's at today is the most helpful advice anybody can ever give you. And once you feel like you've had enough of that, you can bring the hands back to a neutral position, take a few circles to each side, just shake out any tension that you've built up there. And this concludes upper body, upper back, neck, traps. And I hope that you feel much more open. And if there's any tension that you were storing up there, I hope that it has been released for you. Namaste.